Welcome to your custom deep dive. Today, we are unpacking some really fascinating excerpts from The Architecture of Charity and Change.
Yeah, this is a great one.
It really is. Our mission today is to explore this weird paradox, which is, why is it that the more factually correct you are when confronting someone's bad habit, the less likely they are to actually change it?
Right, it seems entirely backward.
Exactly. We are going to look at why pushing ourselves or, other people to change usually just fails completely and how to actually fix it.
Think about a time you tried to help a friend stop procrastinating, or even when you tried to fix your own bad habit.
Oh, yeah, we have all been there.
Right. You probably pointed out the flaw, applied a little pressure, and just expected the problem to be solved.
And it never is.
No, instead of connection or improvement, you likely just hit this wall of quiet, stubborn resistance.
So if a correction is factually accurate, why does the brain interpret it as a threat?
Well, because change isn't just about tweaking a behavior, it actually threatens identity. Yeah, when you ask someone to change, you are asking them to confront these really deep fears of failure or long-held beliefs about themselves.
That makes sense.
And when discomfort meets pressure, the human instinct is just protection. Truth delivered without a safe environment, well, it triggers a fight-or-flight response rather than a learning one.
It is kind of like surgery, right? Like
Yeah.
the truth is the scalpel.
Yeah.
It is absolutely necessary to cut out the problem.
Oh, that is a great analogy.
But safety is the anesthesia. If you just go in with a scalpel without anesthesia, the patient thrashes around.
Right.
And you end up causing way more damage than you cure. Your only instinct is to put your hands up and deflect it.
Precisely. And to get a person in a state where they can actually undergo that surgery, the text introduces a concept we rarely link to behavioral psychology.
Which is
Care.
charity. Wait, really? Charity. Doesn't relying on, charity just mean we're avoiding the hard truths and letting people off the hook.
It sounds like it for sure. But the text draws a really hard line here. Charity without truth isn't kindness. It's just shallow enabling. Oh.
You end up comforting someone without actually guiding them. But then truth without charity hardens.
Because they feel attacked.
Exactly. If you just hammer someone with facts, they feel reduced to their worst mistake, and resistance goes right back up.
So charity is the space that holds both. It brings clarity, which says, this matters, while simultaneously offering safety, which says you are not reduced to this.
And that combination changes everything. The person stops feeling exposed and actually feels seen. When you balance those two forces, you activate what the text calls the pattern of redemption.
The pattern of redemption.
Yeah, it's a mechanism for real change with 3 distinct steps: recognition, ownership, and movement.
So recognizing the truth, accepting responsibility, and then actually choosing to do something different. But people get stuck between those steps all the time, don't they?
Constantly. Because recognition requires incredible vulnerability. If there is no safety, no charity, the ego steps in to protect the person from shame.
Oh, and that ego defense prevents them from taking true ownership. Exactly. They might logically recognize the problem, but the shame just paralyzes them, making it impossible to move to step 3. Charity essentially bypasses that whole ego defense mechanism.
So without charity, you can't have ownership without shame, which explains why we so often get stuck recognizing a problem but never moving past it.
Yes. Think of a manager correcting an employee. If the manager just lists the errors like pure truth, the employee's brain registers an identity threat.
Right. They might say, yes, I made the mistake, but internally they are completely defensive and demoralized.
But if the manager applies charity clarity about the error, but absolute safety regarding the employee's overall value, it creates the environment for recognition without collapse.
They can own the mistake and immediately start moving toward a solution.
Exactly.
So how do you actually apply this in real everyday moments?
Yeah.
The text suggests that when a mistake happens, your first move should simply be to pause.
Yeah, choose steadiness over sharpness. Be intentional about your tone.
Keep the door open, basically.
Right. Speak the truth clearly, but not dismissively.
Make sure you apply the anesthesia before you bring out the scalpel.
Exactly.
Well, as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with a provocative thought to ponder on your own.
Something to reflect on.
Consider whether you naturally default to emphasizing truth over love or love over truth. And reflect on how that specific imbalance shapes the environment you create when trying to correct yourself.